In today's video, we're going to be discussing two films, Forrest Gump and Parasite. And the film that I prefer is Forrest Gump, and that's just because I've watched it, multiple times, and it's always a good watch. There's plenty of iconic scenes throughout the movie, and we're going to be discussing seven different things. The first one being the formal elements shown throughout the film. And the first obvious one is the camera work. They use a variety of different camera shots for different scenes that help to show the mood or convey the mood, I should say. And some examples, the more intimate, slow going, like conversation scenes, it's just a still, steady camera shot. And versus like the action scenes, um, it's more like shaky, handheld, like chaotic kind of. And the missing scene throughout the film is also important. This film takes place, it's in chronological order of his life. It takes place like in one setting, but he always has like flashbacks like that build up throughout his life, showing different periods of history. And the props and the his costumes or whatever he's wearing also helps to like depict those different settings. And the digests and non-digests, I'm not too sure how to say those, but those are also heavily present throughout the film. For digests, and it's in like the film's world, like the character dialogue, the events, the sounds. That's throughout the entire film. And non-diegetic elements are also present throughout like his flashbacks, kind of, or like throughout the scene. It's him talking over it, um, but it's not during that scene, if that makes sense. And the film score, plays throughout the film, and so the film has both of those elements. And for continuity editing is the next one. And in this movie, it's employed to maintain a good, steady flow between scenes. It has consistent screen direction and smooth transitions, and this helps to create like a nice, seamless flow throughout the entire film, even though it's not all based in one time period. So that's a good way. They did a good job at that. And the 180-degree rule is also present throughout the film. It helps to create like a visual coherence throughout the film, and it does a good job to like avoid disorienting the viewer, and helps to show like the spatial connections between characters on screen. And this movie, for social elements, um, yeah, it does it like it's kind of confused. Well, it's not really too confusing, but it takes place at one time period. Mostly just on a bench talking, but it goes in chronological order of his life. And during his life, he's gone through many different social issues. The first obvious one being the Vietnam War, and then the civil rights movements, and the hippie movement. Um, he's been through it all, and that helps the film to be able to show like various amount of different themes, such as love, with his relationship with Jenny and the hippie movement, um, friendship with Bubba, who's throughout the film as well, and then the war. And the film also has a lot of color symbolism throughout it, such as his earlier life with the earthy tones, and then later on when he's in the Vietnam War, it's more like bland and you know the colors you typically associate with like war. Um, that also helps to convey emotions and like set the moods for different scenes and periods of his life. And for props, like the most iconic one is the box of chocolates and Lieutenant Dan's leg. Those help to build character depth, or Forrest's character depth. You know, makes us feel, or allows us to like more easily be connected to his story. And for cultural statements, uh, like I said, it's in one period, but it goes like through his entire life and all different kinds of pivotal historical events in American history. You know, it digs deep into like politics, the social culture, the norms, stuff like that. And I'm going to show you this scene. This is the scene I decided to pick because before this, it's not, too crazy or anything. With his life, well, I mean, I guess it kind of is a little bit chaotic, but this part of the film, like, shifts the entire, I guess you could say, like, mood, and it's like, the tone, and you'll see why.
There's something happening here.
This one day, we was out walking like always, and then, just like that, somebody turned off the rain and the sun come out.
I got to
And see, even he said it too, he was walking like they always were, and then, the rain just turned off, and then boom, it's a giant, like the action kicks in. It's a big shift in like the tone of the film. And for the final question, like how, like what, for the chapter 6 question, uh, I guess you could use like or I would use like the social elements of the film, and it's very important, with the context of it, like the different moments in American history. It's important, for the filmmakers to like, try or tread carefully around it, because that can determine how viewers interpret the movie and take it. So yeah.